up, y'all? It's me and just me because due to some unforeseen circumstances, the other two boys had to jump out. So it is just me. So it'll be a little bit shorter of a show. We're just going to do pretty much a mock draft. Did have a few things I wanted to touch on just before we get into the actual mock draft itself. But it is Tuesday. We've already watched Draft Day, the movie, 3 or 4 times with a few more incoming over the next couple days. And then the draft in Detroit is going to be here on Thursday. It cannot come soon enough. I'm so curious to see what Brad Holmes does, what the entire league does at every pick. It is going to be fascinating. I cannot wait. This is going to be a fun show. Again, just me, so a lot of conversing. So please put anything and everything in the comments so I can see it, so I can talk about it. Ask any questions, whatever you're thinking. A few things to just kind of start the show off with. The Tigers had a big win yesterday, 13-10 on the season, took back second place of the AL Central. That's right, we're already standing watching as Tiger fans, 23 games into the season with 139 to go. I can't remember, I don't know math, but let's have some fun today. I wanted to bring up a few things. First and foremost, let's talk about what this draft does for Detroit. All right, the city of Detroit is expected to get $160 million injected into its economy this weekend. That's due to over 400,000 people expected to arrive in Detroit. It's going to be great for the city. Anyone that works downtown, especially at restaurants or bars, should see an influx of people coming and money being spent, which isn't just great for the city of Detroit, but it's great for the people who work in the city of Detroit. All the hard workers, everyone that worked their ass off every single day should reap benefits, not just the NFL, not just the city of Detroit, but the actual people. And that's outstanding to me. I love that. That's one of the main reasons why I was so excited for the draft to come, why I was quite upset, why we didn't get the call against Dallas. Yes, we're going all the way back there because that could have gave us home field advantage for 3 games, which is just extra money for the city of Detroit. And obviously we'll take anything we can get. I just think that's super cool. 400,000 people though. Man, if most of them are there on day one, I'm not going to be. It's just way too hectic, way too much for me. I'll be there Saturday. So I think Adam will be there on Thursday. So if you guys are going down, look out for Adam. Say what up. Shout out Honolulu Blues for us. But on Saturday, I'll be down there, I believe, with my brother. So it should be a good time. A few things I want to talk about before we get into this mock draft. If you're in the comments, let me know. Who are your top 3 people or top 3 players that the Lions should get, right? Let's be a little realistic. Yeah, sure. I'd love Latu and Dallas Turner, for edge rushers. I'd love Terrion Arnold and Quinyon Mitchell, but I'm just expecting all of them to be out. So I'm just curious on who your top 3 players are. To give you a list of mine, number 1 is Jackson Powers Johnson. I love that kid. I want him here. If not him and we're staying inside offensive line, Zach Frazier's a great number 2 at that. But Jackson Power Johnson is my number 1 guy I want the Lions to walk away with if we stay at pick number 29. For me, number 2, I'm looking big. And I don't think a lot of people like him, but it's the Detroit boy, Darius Robinson. Yeah, raw, whatever. I don't care, man. The kid's from Detroit. He just wants to play. He wants to be a baller. I think he's going to be. I think he will be a first-round pick as well. It'll be late first round, which is kind of right where we are. So I like that. We got already a comment in here, Western Michigan guy, Marshawn Nealon. I got to interview him at the Senior Bowl this year. Great interview, great person. Knew a lot about football and knew a lot about grit. So he could and should fit right in. A little bit more raw for me than the Brandon Darius Robinson. Oh my God, I was about to say Brandon Dorless. That's a different player all in general. But still a great player. I do like him. We finished out his list right here. We got JPJ, number 2. That's my number 1. And then Enos Rakestraw. He's been getting a lot of talk lately. A lot of mock drafts had him kind of outside the first round. I believe NFL Mock Draft Simulator was the only one that had him ranked inside the top 30. Everywhere else, if you went to PFF or if you went to PFN or wherever you went to do your mock draft, had Enos out. But he's been getting a lot of talk. Peter Schrager himself came out and said that he was being told by a lot of people inside the NFL that expect him to go in the first round. So that would be interesting. I did have us draft him in the second round on my mock draft, just because I don't know if I totally believe in him. But if we're without Cooper DeJean and Nate Wiggins and Quinyon Mitchell and Terrion Arnold, and we're looking for a cornerback in the first round, I don't know if we need to reach for anyone, but Enos is a great pick. My number 3 guy that I do want us to get, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people might not love him. My cornerback, though, is Kamari Lassiter, who is falling down in the mock draft. So I guess I kind of hope that he falls to the second round for us, but I really like him. A very talented cornerback. But those are my top 3 guys. And trying to do this all myself here. Another question I had built up for the whole gang, but again, I'm just the only one here. Will the Lions trade up? Will the Lions trade back? Or will the Lions stay right at pick 29? If you had $100 right now, all right, and you had to bet whether they trade up, they trade back, or they stay put, where do you put your money? Where do you put your money? It's a tough question. If you would ask me in February, I would have said trade back guaranteed. The more I think about it, the more I want us to try to trade up to get Terrion Arnold or Quinyon Mitchell. It would be so exciting. Draft picks be damned, future be damned. Let's go trade up and just get with the top cornerback in the draft this year. But if I had $100, I just think with the draft being in the city of Detroit, we're not going anywhere. I mean, maybe we trade up, but if I had $100, I say we stay at 29 and we pick there. Our best bet, in my opinion, is if like Bo Nix or Michael Penix falls and they're there at 29 and Denver or the Raiders did not take anyone, or maybe even the Giants, and they want to trade back up into the first round to get someone, I could see that happening and us trading back. That's why I like originally was thinking trade back would be where I put my money at. But ultimately, with 2 days to go, my final decision is I say we stay at pick 29. So if you guys have anything, throw it in. Let's see what happens. I want to see if I can share this screen. It's not letting me. So maybe we won't do a mock draft. We'll just do some of these questions here. Bear with me here. Let's see if this works. We're going to do this live time. Live time. No, I just can't tell. Yeah. All right. I think we're in for the mock draft here. Perfect. And as you can see, I have already got this going a little bit. So let me jump over here. And I don't have anyone to tell me if you can see this or not. So hopefully this just works out. Let me try to do this real quick. Yeah. All right. We are rocking and rolling, it looks like. So as you can see, we already started the mock draft here. We're doing a Detroit Lions mock draft. Looking at all these guys, went Caleb, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison, Joe Alt, Malik Neighbors, Oli, JJ, Rome, Brock, Brian Thomas, Dallas Turner, Laiatu Latu, Talise Fuaga, Terrion Arnold, Quinyon Mitchell, back-to-back right there. J.C. Latham, Amarius Mims, Chop Robinson, Jared Verse, Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry. Bo Nix to Minnesota at 23. Troy Fuatanu to the Saints after a trade. Nate Wiggins, Byron Murphy, who I really do like. And if he wants to fall to 26, I hope the Lions can trade up to get him at 26. Johnny Newton, Keon Coleman, and we are on us. And these are the guys we are looking at. If you are putting comments in, I apologize. I can't really see them. I'm going to try to get this so I can at the same time. Let's see what we got going on here. I can't really see the comments as I do this draft. So if you got comments, just comment away, and hopefully you like what I do. We are looking at Graham Barton, Michael Penix, Tyler Guyton, Jackson Powers Johnson as the top guys on the board. We all know this is who I like. It's probably the number 2, like most wanted player for Lions fans. If I had to guess, Kool-Aid being number 1, JPJ being number 2. I'm kind of out on the Kool-Aid train, so don't hate me. Right here, looking at all of these guys, I wouldn't mind Adonai Mitchell. I think he's just super talented, from Georgia, went to Texas, and now coming out I would love this. I would love Adonai Mitchell, but I won't pick him. I know everyone's like, no wide receivers. And in fact, if we do get another wide receiver, what is he going to get? 3 or 4 targets a game? He's taken over for Josh Reynolds, who again had 3 or 4 targets a game. Just don't think it's that major. I really want edge rusher early. It's why Darius Robinson is not in my top 3 guys that I want. I really like him, but you can't not get JPJ. He's just going to be so talented. We don't know the longevity of Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker, Zeigler, whatever his name is. I can't remember at this moment. But I just think an inside offensive line. I put out a tweet that everyone hated. Honestly, it doesn't matter who we draft in the first round. Doesn't matter. I don't think they're starting day one. And that actually goes for like cornerbacks, right? Even if we trade up to get Terrion Arnold or Quinyon Mitchell, just starting a rookie cornerback in Aaron Glenn's scheme, I just think we would end up going with Mosley or a Meek Robertson over him. And that doesn't say by week 3, 4, 5 that whoever we draft number 1 or our first overall pick isn't going to be starting. I just think whatever we do this year is all about drafting depth this year and for the future. And I think JPJ fits right into that. I don't need him to go out there and start day one. I just don't need that. Be a great player that can come in when injuries happen, because Lord knows injuries happen, especially to the offensive line. We got it looks like a couple draft day trades that have been proposed to us. Taking this, we'd be falling back from 61 to 96, and we'd lose pick 164, but we would gain a second rounder in Jacksonville. Next year, no. Chicago wants to try to move up. We get a 3rd round pick from Chicago. I am never trading with Chicago. So we are rejecting that. We're rejecting that. And let's see who we're drafting here in the 2nd round. We already got JPJ. So now I am most definitely looking defensive line or secondary. I wouldn't mind Malachi Corley at wide receiver. He is a great player. Jonathan Brooks, the best running back in the draft, but we don't need that. Braylon Trice and Braden Fisk are my top 2 guys in the 2nd round. If they fall this far, Braden Fisk, as we all remember, was the combine standout. Everybody loved him. Just great measurables, great numbers at it. Braylon Trice, in my opinion, was kind of on the verge of being a 1st round draft pick a few months ago and has fallen deep down into this late 2nd round drafting area. And I know we need edge, but we do have Houston. We do have Davenport opposite of Hutch. I like to think that we can continue to get guys, Kaminsky, whoever needs to come off the edge. Even if it's Pascal, we can put him at the edge. I like Braden Fisk again for the future. Who knows how long Reeder will actually be playing in the NFL? He's getting up there in age. Great right now and great for our team this year. Again, I'm not drafting whoever I draft to come out and be a starter immediately, but I am going to go with Braden Fisk and get another interior defensive line. Brad Holmes has shown us he likes to draft the trenches, build through the trenches, and we've already built through the trenches, and now we're trying to add some cherries on top, but you never can go wrong with too many trench players. So give me another one. Interior defensive line, Braden Fisk. I love the kid. Another draft day trade proposal. This one from the Chargers, getting us 3 picks all in the 100s, losing pick 73 and 205. Could be a possible trade, but no. I'm also not taking that because I'm drafting for this year right now on this show. So we're going to see who we got at pick 73. We're looking at Cedric Gray, Junior Colson at linebacker position, Kamari Lassiter, who I really, 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 really like. Really like. I'm actually definitely going to draft him just because he's on my top 3. And I know that he is falling this far down. I get it. I'm still not going to be upset if Brad Holmes does something crazy and takes him in the 1st round. I won't be upset. Everyone else may be, but not me. I'm taking him here. We're flying through this draft. Like I said, the show will be a little bit quicker as it's just me. And no one really wants to listen to me talk that much. We just kind of want to see how I do this draft and what ends up. And that's fair. So let's see what happens. We obviously don't have a pick for a while. We're coming back up at pick 164, and no one wants to trade with us. We've got our cornerback. We've got our interior defensive line. We've got our interior offensive line. Those are the three of the 4 biggest positions, in my opinion, for need. Last one being edge rusher. I'm not going to rush and press to get an edge rusher at this point. A few guys I like late are still out there. So we'll see, just kind of see what best player available. If we didn't get Braden Fisk, we would have went Braylon Trice in the second round. Gabe Hall would be a phenomenal steal here. But I'm not going to draft 2 interior defensive linemen. However, I wouldn't put past old Brad Holmes, because Lord knows he likes to build through the trenches. So we're just kind of looking at some of these players right here. Christian Jones, we all like. Well, I like him. Offensive tackle, kind of maybe be a Taylor Decker reinforcement just in case anything happens. Do we want another Tennessee quarterback? We already got Hooker. Might as well throw Joe Milton back there. I'm joking. Everyone calm down. We're loading pretty far back. Jaquan Jackson. Let's talk about him a little bit. Nephew of Ed Reed. Yes, the Ed Reed. And a huge standout at the Senior Bowl. Very shifty, very shaky. Could be a very good return man with the new return rules. Maybe a Monra St. Brown-ish. And again, I said this last week, there's nothing wrong with having another wide receiver like a Monra St. Brown, because St. Brown doesn't have to play in the slot. He can play out on the corners. Jaquan Jackson can do the same. It's all about separation, and that's what Jared Goff strives off of. I'm going to see maybe if we can get lucky and get him later. We'll go back up here. We love Kitan Oladapo. Saw him at the Senior Bowl. Very talented player. And with all these players, it's hard to just kind of pick best available, because they're all shots in the dark right now. If this was the list, everyone would have their own 2 cents of who we should get, whether it be Josh Proctor from OSU, whether it be Tanner oh my gosh, I always screw up his name, McLaughlin. And it's a dart throw. So let's throw a dart at Kitan Oladapo, add another secondary. Our safeties aren't that deep. Julius says it all the time. We love Iffy. We love Kirby. We hear Brian Branch can be going to play safety a little bit, but might as well add another safety in there. See if our boy Jaquan Jackson stayed. It does not look like we got lucky enough for that. Where did he go? Right there. Oh, it makes sense that the Dolphins would take him in this mock draft. He would fit right in for them. Now, I don't want to go the whole draft without getting an edge rusher. I also wasn't trying to push it. I wasn't trying to push it on the team, but we really do need one. I am going to kind of just focus now on the edge rushers, which if you're looking, there aren't many. If you're following along with me, we are just kind of just scrolling through. We can get a little bit more in depth. I wanted to see how many people were right there. Looking at the edge rushers, you're looking at Miles Cole, Eric Watts. A few other guys down here. I do like Nelson Caesar a lot. I actually think I'm going to go for Nelson Caesar. Little Caesars, Nelson Caesar. I mean, it's Detroit. It just kind of fits. So we got another pick right away at 205. No one wants to do any trades anymore. At this point, we're going to get off of edge and just go to the all position. Kicker, what are we really looking at this deep? Hopefully we trade some of these deeper picks and our first round pick to move up to get Quinyon Mitchell or Terrion Arnold. That would be fantastic. But in this mock, we didn't. Let's take someone that we all can agree upon. I do like Willie Drew a lot out of Virginia State. But again, we did already get a cornerback. And we got depth at cornerback. We truly do. It did stink losing Cam Sutton, but I like our depth. Can never add too many. Our running back position, we're obviously set with Monty. We're obviously set with Gibbs. Craig Reynolds comes back. But after that, like right now we're drafting. Again, running back injuries could be terrible. We could be without our top 2 running backs by week 5, and you're looking at Craig Reynolds and whoever the hell we want to bring in. Bam Knight, it just re-signed. So it's tough. But I'm not going to draft that. We brought back Brock Wright at tight end. We still have James Mitchell and obviously our boy, Sam Laporta. So at this point, I'm trying to draft more depth. And then I'm going to go specifically to offensive tackle. Again, we're just trying to keep up with any kind of injuries, also any kind of, retirements that may happen at the end of the season. Taylor Decker is one of the oldest on the team. Do we move Sewell over to left tackle after Decker leaves? Do we keep him at right? Who knows? But let's just take an offensive tackle. I'm looking through right now real deep down here. A lot of undrafted guys. Look at over them all. Caden Wallace, Nathan Thomas, Frank Crum. I'm going to go with Nathan Thomas. Just get another offensive tackle. And I think we got one more pick. I could be wrong. What is our 7th round? Yeah, one more pick. All right. Let's see who's here. Josh Carty's my favorite kicker in the draft. Cam Little obviously is their number 1 ranked. Just having fun. Let's go with Cam Little. That's going to do our mock draft for us. So it looks like this here. Jackson Powers Johnson at 1. Braden Fisk with the 61st pick. Kamari Lassiter with the 73rd pick. Kitano Ladapo with 164. Nelson Caesar at 201. Nathan Thomas at 205. And Cam Little at 249. I know we probably won't draft anyone that I just drafted here, but it's always fun to do these mock drafts. Looking over, see what some of these comments said as I was doing that. I'm sorry again, I couldn't see any of them. Probably remove this here too. And just me again. And let's look at some of these. Here's a question I had earlier. Won't move in the first, but will move up to the top of the 2nd round. Ooh, that's an interesting take. I like that. Ooh, my wife was on here. Hey, baby. We got Pops on here. Takes after his dad. I assume he's referring to that. We got Brother Pete here. We love the kid. Thank you for jumping on. Let's see. Antoine Green breakout season incoming. We got ASB, JMO, DPJ, Khalif, and Antoine. A ton of wide receiver depth. I wouldn't mind adding one more to it just because I'm not the biggest DPJ fan, and I hope he proves me wrong. I truly do. Like, the kid could be elite, but I just don't believe in it. And it is what it is. Let's see where I'd be ecstatic if Fisk was there at 61. I'm talking about Braden Fisk, the guy I took at 61. Me too. It's a great pick in my opinion. I don't think he falls that far, but if PFN wants to give it to us, we'll take it. Moving down the list here. You really don't think there's a single position we could draft a starter at? I truly don't. Again, if we trade up to get whoever, like, if you drafted Marvin Harrison Jones or Marvin Harrison Jr., not Donovan Peoples-Jones, Marvin Harrison Jr., that would be like, obviously he would start. There isn't any position I think we can use a starter at. All of them are depth players. I'll repeat it again. Our team is just so fucking loaded that it's just improbable, in my opinion, to think that someone we draft is going to come in and just take over someone's spot. We're building. We didn't lose a lot of players last year, and of the players that we did lose, we recouped them, and we recouped that position at the free agent position, or during the free agent frenzy. Let's see what else. I don't necessarily think that. I think there isn't a position that we need to draft a starter at. Sure, that's a fair take. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Caden saying Chop over here. I hate Chop. I don't think he is really talented. I think he's raw, and I hate drafting the raw players. I just don't like it. I don't like it, so I don't like Chop. I watched a lot of film on him, wasn't the biggest fan. Jake Bates, baby. Yes, sir. We need to get this dude. If we fuck him little, sorry, I shouldn't have even drafted him. I just sort of said that we're going to get him. Our Michigan Panthers love. We got Justin on here. What's good? What's good, Justin? Love to see you always on, per usual. You think the rumor I heard us giving both 2024 second round and 2025 for Cortland Sutton from Denver? I don't believe that any bit. No. New Inside the Den tomorrow. That'll be fun. I like the Air Force safety. I think his name is Trey Taylor as a late round steal. I love that. If you have any other late round steals, anyone listening, throw them in. We're about to be ending the show. Like I said, just a quick little show. Did a little mock draft, had a fun couple questions. Make sure you're tuning in to the NFL draft. And if you aren't, make sure you tune into us. I think we'll have a live show going at some point during the draft. Hopefully, probably more towards when we're about to pick. But if shit hits the fan and we trade up, then we're jumping on. We'll do whatever we got to do. I do have a softball game that day, I think. So you might be seeing me live going from third base, making a play, talking about the draft. We'll see what happens, but I appreciate everybody coming on and listening to me just rant. Per usual, make sure you go follow us on Twitter at Honolulu Blues _. We are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on iHeart, we're on them all. Follow us, subscribe, like. We appreciate it every time. We truly, truly do. We'll get one last question in here before I close it up. You think we are taking a wide receiver? I do think we take a wide receiver. For a long time, I was saying it would be our first pick. I wouldn't be shocked if BH does something crazy like that, but it would depend on who's there. I do think we take a wide receiver at some point in this draft, though, even with Antoine Green, DPJ, Khalif, JMO, ASB, all those guys. I bet wide receivers not off the table, and even early. Don't be shocked. Just don't be shocked. I don't think we like Xavier Worthy, but a guy like Adonai Mitchell, if he falls to us, Xavier Leggett is a great player. I don't know if he'll be there in the second round. So if we had to get him, we'd have to get him in the first round. But again, thank you all for tuning in, watching the show, listening to me just rant for a half hour. It's always fun. Next time we'll have all the boys here. It'll be a lot more lively of a show. Next Tuesday, next week, Joey Harrington will be joining us. He'll be recapping the Lions picks with us, talking about his foundation, that he is going to be promoting. A lot of good stuff. We love Joey Harrington. He was on last year, and he's going to be on again to recap the draft with us this year. So make sure you tune in for that. Show him some love. Show us some love. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a great draft week. Watch draft day, and let's go Lions. Dun, dun.